Hey, what's up? I'm Brian Drake on the latest retro here on the Dice Tower. Today we're doing one of my favorite types of videos, and that's one of those versus head-to-head videos, taking a look at two games that might have some things in common and duking it out to see which of those is the best. Now, inspiration is not always the same thing as derivation or anything like that. These are two different games, two different designers, two different concepts, two different themes, two different ideas, but they have some similarities. We're going to explore those similarities right now and see which one comes out on top. Or if they both do, or if neither of them do, that would be Sagrada v Azul. I can't make another Batman v Superman joke, but anyway, so two of these head to head. Let's take a look right now. So let's talk a few things first of all. What do they have in common? Well, they're both quick placement games. You know, they both play pretty fast. Their placement games deal with color, deal with certain numbers. So those two things are very similar. What do they have separate? Well, Sagrada deals in dice, and the theme is about windows in the Barcelona Sagrada de Familia thing. Azul is about Portuguese wall mosaics. That's about it. But that's where the similarities really end, as far as most of it is be the fact that they're both placement games. They both deal with colors, they both deal with points and numbers and such as that, and all make sure that you get the most points based on how you place. So let's talk similarities right now between these two games. Here's what they come with. They both have nice cloth bags that are etched and engraved. The wind goes to Azul here. This entire bag is colorful, and it's got the word printed, screen printed onto it. It's very nice with the designs of the tiles on it as well. Whereas this is stitched in, this is actually a softer bag. What do they hold? Well, they hold where they differ a little bit. Sagrada obviously holds dice, colorful little dice, 5 different colors, I believe. There's yellow, red, purple, green, blue. I think that's it. Inside here, in the Sagrada or the Azul bag, are these tiles, beautiful little floor tiles. Some look like starbursts. They are not starbursts. They are in fact tiles. You've got these different types of floor tiles here that you're going to be putting on your mosaic out here to try to build the best mosaic, best floor or window. We're not entirely sure if it's a wall or floor. I can't remember. Oh, it's a floor. Thank you. I think it comes from the floor and then you place it onto the wall. It's kind of the theme. And see who gets the most points out of all of it. That is the idea here. Sagrada, you're taking these dice that we mentioned and you're putting them into your window to make the best looking window you can based on certain things. Now, where do they differ? That's the thing we're going to talk about right now. First key aspect of how they differ, let's talk randomness in Sagrada. So let's just say in a 4-player game, you're going to pull out 9 dice out of the bag. 2, 3, 4, 7, and 9. You're then going to roll these dice, and then you can kind of group them together based on color to make it easier, or you can separate them to make it harder, whatever you want to do. That's kind of irrelevant. But the point is, you roll these dice, and then basically you have 2 layers of randomness. You have the blind draw out of here, but you also roll the dice. You also roll the dice so that there's a second layer of randomness involved in Sagrada. The other thing that's different about Sagrada than Azul, and this is a piece of randomness that only this game has, are these cards. And here's one of the things I really like about Sagrada. There are 3 sets of cards that all do 3 different things. First of all, there's your secret bonus card, which you get the amount of pips total of this color in your window. So at the end of the game, if you just, let's just say you had the, wow, both of the 2 that are not right here. Okay, let's just say you had the red one, or whatever. We'll just say you had the red one, okay? At the end of the game, if you had all these in your window here, you would get currently 7 and 4 is 11 points. So you get the pips based on these. That's what these are for. Each one has a color of all the 5 colors. Then you have the end of the game scoring cards. These are things like have a row with all different colors in it. So these are worth 6 each. So that would be worth 24 points if you can do it for all 4 of them. Light shades, so sets of any 1s and 2s are worth 2 victory points. All different types of scoring things that change every time you play the game because you only play with 3 of them. The other thing would be the tool cards. The tool cards are things that allow you to spend your little glass beads that you get on top of your window. When you spin these, you can do what these tool cards allow you to do. If you're the first one there, it costs you 1. Anybody else costs you 2 to go there. See things like the glazing hammer. You re-roll all the dice in the draft pool. You can may only be used for your second turn. So the way this works is you'll snake draft it. You'll take a dice, you put it on your board. Someone else will take one all the way around and then back to you. If you're first, you'll go again. But you have to build, just a couple quick rules about this. You have to build from the outside first, and then you have to build adjacent. They cannot be orthogonally adjacent, cannot be the same color or the same number. So this could not go in any of these 3 spaces, and this could not go in any of these 3 spaces. I'm wrong. This is diagonal. Diagonal's okay. Could not go here or here with that 1 or that blue here or here, but you could go diagonal, which is how you get around some of that placing funkiness. But that is how randomness works in Sagrada. There's a bunch of these tool cards that do all sorts of different things. Let's talk randomness in Azul right now. So the randomness in Azul works by filling these discs different amounts based on player counts with 4 tiles. Any 4 random tiles out of the bag, right? You don't fill this bag back up though with the discards until after this draw bag is totally empty. So it keeps it where you do in fact use every tile, but it's totally random when they go back in there. So you're not putting ones that you got used or discarded back in. So this is how the randomness works in Azul, and that's the only randomness in Azul. But there's a little bit more manipulation, I should say. So when you take a color from one of these discs, let's just say I want the blue one, I would take this one, well then everything else goes to the middle. Then if somebody wants to take a color from the middle, they have to also, if they're the first ones to take it, take a -1 victory point, which is shown here. So it's just a little bit more interaction there. But basically when you take these, they'll go onto your spaces over here. You'll fill up based on the amount that's required. This is 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5. Once those are full, after the end of the round, these will move over, the ones that are here. So you can move this over, you'll score 1 point for it. You'll then move this over, you'll also score 1 point for it. Now had this been here instead, it works like Scrabble. You get a point for every line that it makes. So let's just say you had that there from this round to be 1 point, and then when this one moves over, it would be 1, 2 points. Same thing, had you done, this one, it would be 1, 2 points. So you can start comboing it out where if you put this one in and all these are here and all these are here, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 total if you played your strategy out just right. So that's how randomness works in Azul. That's how the placement rules work in Azul. Same kind of thing though. You can't place ones adjacent to each other. Now actually on the front here, you have to place them where it shows, but on the back, same kind of rules apply. You can't place things orthogonally adjacent to each other. Kind of a neat rule there because this backside lets you place more things in different places. So here's what I do like. The difference in the 2 games right here, you have Azul on the back, Sagrada up front here. This is the way the board is shown at first. Until the end of the game, this flips over. What I like about this is in Azul, you track your score during the game. So everyone knows what everyone else has during the game. With Sagrada, you do not track your score until the end of the game, so it becomes more of a surprise who takes the lead. I mean, you can kind of look and see roughly, but you really don't know until you get to the end of the game and you start scoring those public objective cards and those private objective cards. That brings us to our major differences and which one you should probably get your hands on right now. So one thing that's utterly undeniable about both of these games, as I showed you the components from inside and out, from user interface to randomness, is the fact that both of these games are absolutely gorgeous. Both of them look beautiful, top to bottom. They're based on real things that are meant to be beautiful too. And that's what's cool about this game. You get the real sense that beauty was introduced to it. If you'll harken back to my video on Sagrada, the review, I talk about how sometimes we try to talk about how they shoehorn a theme into a game. That is not the case here. These 2 games are abstract games, yes, but the theme works so well that it just feels like it's organic. I mean, there are a lot of abstract games that go, yeah, sure, you're fighting in Rome. No, you're not really. But this one, it really feels like you're doing what you're doing. It really feels like you're building a stained glass window in Sagrada. It really feels like you're putting this floor together to make this beautiful mosaic. What I love about these games, same thing with Twilight Struggle and all the other types of games that have to do with real life, when I finish playing one of these, it makes me Google the real place. You know, I go and look up pictures of the Sagrada Familia. I go up and look pictures at what this is based on. It's just beautiful to see these different things all over the world and gets you to learn about something. That's what I love about games. It calls you to learn in a fun way. Sagrada and Azul both do that. Now, it comes time to where we talk about which one you should get. Now, I normally have a hard time drawing the line and saying which one I get. You notice that I have both of them. Both of these are very, very good games. They're both, if you can watch my review on Sagrada, and this is kind of the review for Azul as well, they're both excellent games. They're 8+ games for me, like rating-wise. I love these games. Now, which one would I pick if I only could choose one? Spoiler, obviously you don't have to just choose one, so there's that way out if you want that way out. But this is a versus video. We got to see who wins. We got to see if the Green Arrow drops in one-armed and shoots a kryptonite arrow, or does Sting drop down from the rafters and do a scorpion death drop on Hollywood Hogan. Yes, I had to stretch for both references, but there you go. Which one of these takes away the victory? And I'm going to give it to you in a couple different categories first. Art, they are tied. You cannot pick one of these that looks better than the other. The only thing that is better looking is the bag in Azul. Everything else is gorgeous and equal paced. 2, replayability. Here's the one that is going to go to Sagrada. Sagrada has the replayability factor because there are so many magnitudes of factorials of different ways you can put this together, through the cards, through the dice that come out, obviously. So Sagrada wins on replayability only for the fact that there are so many different combinations. The scoring cards, well, you may have a really high scoring game only because you had a super high type of scorecard. Some games you might score really low because some of the things don't allow for you to score and combo too well. The tool cards, those are 3 different tool cards that you get every time as well. Not to mention your own personal bonus cards. So there are so many combinations. I could do the math on it, I just didn't do the math on it before I did the video. So many different combinations of what Sagrada could be. Now Azul, on the other hand, the back side of the board is very replayable, but Azul is a more simplified game in the fact that you're not working off random things. The same things give you points every single time you play Azul. There is no randomness to that fact. When you place a tile on this line, you're going to get a point for it. It's not like, well, this time I get points if I have colors in a row that are the same or different. This time I get colors in a column that are different. So it's not the same like that. So the win for replayability to me goes to Sagrada. Does that mean that Azul can't be replayed much? Absolutely not. It's a very fun game to play on the front side, not to mention the back side. Last but not least, I think those are really the 2 main things, because mechanics are so similar. They both deal with randomness, they both deal with colors and placement and rules about placement. The one that has a little bit tougher rules on that is definitely Sagrada, because the numbers are there too, which makes it much more difficult. So that's playability, that's art, that's style. Let's talk overall. For me personally, my pick goes to Sagrada. I like it better just because of the more randomness to it. It also, I really like the way the dice fit into the window, and it looks so good at the end of the game. That's not saying anything against Azul. It's a beautiful game that you should go and check out, absolutely. But since this is a pick one video, the one I'm picking is Sagrada. If you have to, if you're in the store and you go, what am I gonna get? I gotta go with Sagrada on this, as much as I love Azul. So that is it this time. Another video come to pass of 2 games head to head. We take a look, we break them down, we see which one you should pull away from this. And this time it's Sagrada. But yet again, I think you should get both, just so we're clear. That's it for this time. I'm Brian Drake with the latest retro, doing another one of these videos. Now, here's the deal. What I'd like for you to do, I put a post on the Facebook page on the Dice Tower, which ones you would like to see me do. I'd like to know what games you would like to see me do in these head-to-head missions. We've had some already come up that will happen. One that's coming soon will be an Agricola, Caverna, and Feast for Odin Redux. Redo, I don't know how you say that. But that's coming soon. But again, shoot me in the comments here what you would like to see. And until next time, I'm Brian Drake on the Dice Tower. We'll see ya.
So much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.